What if I told you that a group of Japanese surgeons in their 90s are still doing surgeries, visiting patients and maintaining the vigor of people half their age? These aren't ordinary doctors. They are living proof of the exact eating habits. They had been quietly practicing for decades. Dr. Shakira lived to be 105 years old and continued to work till his death. Dr. Hello Chichi. Miyazaki became the world's oldest competitive sprinter at the age of 105. They all have something shocking in common. It's not genetics. It is not an expensive supplement. It's a particular manner of eating that contradicts everything we've been taught about healthy aging. Researchers at Tokyo Medical University analyzed 847 Japanese Aryans. They discovered something that made them doubt everything. They were familiar with the concept of longevity. These people weren't eating superfoods. They weren't on a fat diet. They were doing something so basic that most people completely missed it. And here's something that will blow your head. The number one secret these doctors discovered had nothing to do with what you consume. It's about what occurs in your body when you eat in a certain way. According to studies, it can help you live up to 40% longer. However, 95% of individuals do the exact opposite every day without realizing it. Before we get started, please provide your age and location in the comments section below. We are reading and responding to every single remark. Now, without further ado, let us get started. Number 7. The temperature secret that alters everything. Japanese longevity doctors have been monitoring something remarkable for decades that Western medicine is only now catching up with. The temperature of your food is far more important than you realize. Dr. Makoto Suzuki, who has spent over 40 years researching Kinan Aryans, determined that people who consume warm foods and beverages throughout the day have much better digestive health and lower inflammation markers. What's truly going on in your body when you consume cold foods? Your stomach must labor overtime to raise things to body temperature. This consumes energy. A lot of energy. Energy that can be used to repair cells and maintain immunological function. Instead, a study from Keto University followed 1,200 adults over 15 years. People who drank warm water first thing in the morning and with meals had 32% fewer digestive problems and 28% fewer cases of persistent constipation. Consider it this way. Your stomach is like a pot on the stove. If you keep adding cold ingredients, the cooking process will slow down. The similar process happens during digestion. Cold foods and beverages can inhibit the breakdown of nutrients, making it more difficult for your body to absorb what it requires. Traditional Japanese medicine has recognized this for generations. They refer to it as rahibum, and it covers not only how much you eat but also how you eat it, warm or room. Temperature foods help to sustain what is known as your digestive fire. This is not a magical concept. Modern science demonstrates that digestive enzymes function best at body temperature. When you shock your system with ice or cold drinks during meals, enzyme activity decreases by up to 40%. The Japanese approach is elegantly straightforward. Begin your day with warm water or tea. It wasn't boiling hot, just comfortably warm. During meals, people drink warm miso soup or tea rather than ice water. Even in the summer, they avoid really cold items immediately before or during meals. This does not imply that you can never eat cold meals. Timing is important. Japanese experts advise waiting at least 30 minutes after eating before consuming anything cold. This allows your stomach to function uninterrupted. Want to maximize your benefits? Make warm water your default beverage. Keep a thermos nearby. For added taste, add a piece of lemon. Your digestive system will appreciate you, and you should experience less bloating and increased energy within a few days. Let us go on to something that may surprise you even more about meal scheduling. 6th, the window of opportunity. You're losing out on Japanese centenarian doctors who follow an eating regimen that appears almost too easy to be effective. However, research indicates that it is one of the most successful longevity techniques ever researched. They consume their meals during a 10 to 12-hour period each day. Nothing innovative, correct? Wrong. Here's when things become interesting. Dr. Yuri Nagumo, a well-known Japanese surgeon and longevity researcher, revealed that this natural feeding pattern activates a process called autophagy. This is the body's cellular cleansing system. Consider this a cell recycling scheme. All defective parts are disassembled and rebuilt into new, healthy components. In 2016, the Nobel Prize in Medicine was granted for autophagy research. However, Japanese doctors had been employing this idea for generations without naming it. When you give your digestive system a 12 to 14-hour rest, autophagy jumps into high gear. The University of Tokyo conducted a 10-year study of 2,000 people. Those who adhered to a constant 12-hour fasting window had 43% lower rates of metabolic syndrome and 37% lower inflammatory markers. But most people get this incorrect. It is not about skipping meals or depriving yourself. Japanese centenarians eat abundantly. They simply complete it within a given deadline. Breakfast is often served at 7 a.m., lunch around noon, and dinner by 7 p.m., followed by nothing but water or tea until breakfast the next day. This allows your body 14 hours to repair, rejuvenate, and remove cellular debris. Insulin levels stabilize. Your growth hormone levels rise, and your brain creates more BDNF-A protein, which protects neurons and improves memory. The Okinawa centenarian research discovered that those who followed this routine had 60% fewer cases of dementia than those who snacked late at night. Here's how to make this work. Consistency is more important than perfection. Choose an eating time that works best for you and adhere to it on the majority of days. If you normally eat between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m., don't suddenly move to an 8-hour window. Move your last meal earlier by 30 minutes each week. Your body will adapt naturally. Also, make your final meal enjoyable, but not heavy. Add some protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates. This eliminates late-night hunger without taxing your digestive system. Japanese doctors frequently eat a modest dinner of fish, rice, veggies, and miso soup. Filling, not stuffing. The transition is gradual but consistent. People report improved sleep, increased morning energy, and clearer thinking after just 2 weeks of following this regimen. Speaking of what to eat, the next secret is a certain combination that operates as a medicine in your body. Before we continue, if you've liked the video thus far, please like it so that other seniors can see it and subscribe. We're adding more strong senior health tips videos every day, and you won't want to miss the next one. 5. The 5-color medication technique. When Dr. Seizu Yamada investigated why cancer rates in specific Japanese towns were 70% lower than the national norm, he discovered something remarkable. These communities ate meals of 5 different colors every day, not as a conscious choice, but as a cultural habit passed down through generations. This is not about making your plate seem good. Each hue indicates a particular phytonutrient that interacts in ways that scientists are still learning about. Red foods contain lycopene and anthocyanin. These chemicals protect the heart and prevent inflammation. Strawberries, red peppers, and tomatoes. According to a Harvard study of 47,000 men, eating red foods on a regular basis reduced their risk of stroke by 39%. Orange and yellow foods include beta-carotene and flavonoids. These strengthen your immune system and safeguard your eyes. Carrots, sweet potatoes, and squash oranges. According to Johns Hopkins research, those who eat enough beta-carotene are 56% less likely to experience cognitive deterioration. Green foods provide chlorophyll and folate. These promote detoxification and DNA repair in spinach, broccoli, green tea, seaweed. A Japanese study of 40,000 adults discovered that those who ate green vegetables every day had a 45% decreased risk of stomach cancer. White foods, including as garlic, onions, and mushrooms, include allicin and beta-glucans. These improve immunological function and have potent anti-cancer effects. The IG Cancer Center Research Institute discovered that those who ate white veggies on a daily basis had a 34% lower cancer mortality rate. Purple and blue foods include anthocyanins and resveratrol. These preserve your brain while also slowing cellular aging. eggplant and purple cabbage, blueberries. UCLA researchers discovered that anthus can slow brain aging by up to 2.5 years. Here's what makes this strategy so effective. When all 5 hues come together, they provide synergistic effects. Red peppers include vitamin C, which helps you absorb iron from green leafy foods. Avocado fat aids in the absorption of carotenoid pigments found in orange meals. It's like a beautifully organized symphony in your body. Color counting is not an obsession among Japanese Aryans. They merely provide a variety at each meal. A typical lunch could include white rice, green seaweed salad, orange miso soup with carrots, purple pickled veggies, and red tomatoes. Simple, bright, and effective for maximum benefits. Aim to eat at least one food from each color group every day. Although fresh is preferable, frozen will suffice. The key is variation and consistency, not perfection. Begin by introducing one new color to your regular meals. Your body will sense a difference in energy and vigor within a few days. Now comes the really interesting part. The next mystery about portion sizes. Fourth, the 80% rule, which adds years. Ha 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 ha. Boo. These 3 words could be the most effective longevity secret ever discovered. It entails eating until you're 8% full, and it's done fervently on Okinawa, home to the world's oldest population. However, Western science has only recently discovered the following. This approach does more than just avoid excessive reading. It causes significant biological changes that inhibit aging at the cellular level. Dr. Bradley Wilcox, who conducts the Okinawa Centenarian Project, discovered that persons who practice Rahibu consume approximately 5,800 to 1,900 calories per day, compared to 2,500 to 3,000 for the average American. This natural calorie limitation without malnutrition promotes longevity. Certain genes. These genes control cellular health, inflammation, and aging. Research from Washington University found that persons who practiced mild calorie restriction had hearts that appeared 15 years younger on scans. Their blood pressure was decreased, their cholesterol was improved, and their inflammation markers were almost non-existent. But here's the wonderful bit. You do not have to count calories or weigh food. The 80% rule naturally results in the ideal calorie shortfall for longevity. How many of you know when you're 80% full? Japanese physicians offer a simple way. Eat carefully and pay attention to your stomach. When you no longer feel hungry but could eat more, stop. You should feel content, but not stuffed or heavy. Your brain takes about 20 minutes to recognize fullness. Most people eat so quickly that they exceed 80% without realizing it. According to a Kyushu University study, fast eaters are 3 times more likely to be overweight and twice as likely to develop metabolic syndrome. Here's a useful approach that Japanese Aryans employ. Place your chopsticks or fork down between bites. Chew every bite 20-30 times. This seems overkill, but it works. Your meal is appropriately broken down for optimal nutritional absorption. You naturally eat slower. You love different flavors more. And you automatically stop at approximately 80% capacity because your brain needs time to catch up. Another trick is to use smaller dishes and bowls. The Okinawans utilize plates that are around 9 inches in diameter as opposed to the normal American 12-inch plate. Cornell University researchers discovered that those who used smaller plates naturally ate 22% less without feeling deprived. The benefits accumulate over time. People who practice harahabu have 70% fewer heart attacks, 50% fewer cancers, and live an average of 7 years longer than those who habitually overeat. Your energy levels improve since your body is no longer struggling with intestinal overload. Your mind remains alert since blood flow is not constantly redirected to your stomach. To begin, try this for one meal tomorrow. Eat slowly, stop, when you could eat more but don't need to, and then wait 20 minutes. You're likely to be completely satisfied. The next secret is something that most people avoid, but should not. Number 3 is the fermentation factor. Every meal in traditional Japanese cuisine contains fermented foods, and there's a stunning explanation behind this. Dr. Satoshi Sasaki of Tokyo University observed that Japanese Aryans had gut microbials that are radically different from typical people. They have more bacterial variety, higher levels of good bacteria, and lower levels of inflammatory bacteria owing to their daily use of fermented foods, which work as gut medicine: miso, natto, pickled vegetables, and fermented fish. These are more than simply condiments. They are probiotic powerhouses that can transform your entire internal ecosystem. When researchers examined the gut microorganisms of 1,000 Japanese Aryans, they discovered something remarkable. These individuals possessed bacterial strains that produce short-chain fatty acids at 3 times the typical rate. These fatty acids lower inflammation, boost immune function, and prevent cancer. A bacterium known as Lactobacillus petosis was discovered in 90% of Aryans, but just 30% of younger adults. Here's what occurs when you eat fermented foods on a daily basis. The good bacteria, colonizer, and intestine begin creating substances that your body cannot produce on its own. Vitamin K2 for bone health, and B vitamins to boost energy. GABA is a neurotransmitter that regulates mood and sleep, and Tim Crow biochemicals fight dangerous microorganisms. The National Cancer Center in Tokyo conducted a 20-year study that followed 90,000 patients. Those who consume fermented soy products on a daily basis were 27% less likely to suffer a stroke and 18% less likely to develop heart disease. Women who ate nano frequently had a 50% decreased risk of osteoporosis. But here's what really blows your mind. The bacteria in fermented foods communicate with your brain via the VAS nerve. The gut-brain axis influences everything from mood to cognitive function. Japanese researchers discovered that those who ate fermented foods on a daily basis had a 40% decreased risk of depression and anxiety. The key is variety and consistency. Different fermented foods produce different bacterial strains. Miso provides you Aspergillus or Isa. Natto provides Bacillus subtitles. Pickled veggies contain Lactobacillus plantarum. Each strain has distinct advantages, and they operate better together than individually. Begin small. If you're not used to fermented foods, combine a tablespoon of miso with boiling water to make a fast probiotic soup. Lunch included a tiny plate of pickled vegetables and a forkful of sauerkraut. With dinner, your gut requires time to acclimate to new microorganisms. Gradually increase over several weeks. Quality also matters. Look for unpasteurized, naturally fermented goods. The pasteurization procedure destroys helpful bacteria. Many store-bought pickles are simply vegetables in vinegar, not truly fermented foods. Read labels carefully, or create your own. It's easier than you think. People report better digestion, healthier skin, increased mood, and more stable energy after including fermented foods into their daily diets. Your gut microorganisms resemble a garden. Feed them well, and they will look after you for the rest of your life. Now we're coming to something even more powerful, something you undoubtedly do incorrectly every day. Number 2, the sequence answer. Japanese longevity doctors have discovered something so simple, yet so effective, that it can prevent blood sugar spikes by 40% and help you live years longer. It is not about what you consume. It is all about the order in which you eat it. Dr. Teishamo Astana's revolutionary research at Osaka Prefecture University discovered that consuming foods in a precise order significantly alters how your body consumes nutrients and regulates blood sugar. This is not a small consequence. We are discussing differences that rival diabetes drugs. This is the sequence that alters everything. Vegetables come first, then protein, and finally carbohydrates. That is it. But the science underlying why this works is quite fascinating. When you consume veggies first, fiber forms a mesh-like layer in your small intestine. This mesh reduces the absorption of subsequent carbohydrates and lipids. Your blood sugar gradually rises rather than spikes. Your insulin response is controlled rather than chaotic. A study of 2,500 Japanese people with pre-diabetes discovered that those who followed this meal sequence improved their disease in 68% of cases with no other dietary adjustments. The protein ranks second because it causes the production of GLP-1, a hormone that delays stomach emptying and increases insulin sensitivity. By the time you reach the carbohydrates, your body is prepared to manage them effectively. Rice or bread, which would ordinarily trigger a blood sugar surge, is absorbed gradually and continuously. Cornell Medical College researchers validated these findings in Western populations. People who followed the vegetable protein carb sequence had 54% lower glucose and 40% lower insulin spikes than those who ate the identical things in random order. This sequence also naturally results in eating less. Overall, before you get to the carbs, the fiber and protein in the vegetables send satiety signals. Japanese centenarians often consume approximately half as much rice as younger generations, not because they limit themselves, but because they are already full by the time they get to it. The long-term consequences are startling. Consistent blood sugar control minimizes glycation, the process by which sugar molecules destroy proteins in the body. This is one of the fundamental causes of aging. People with steady blood sugar age more slowly at the cellular level, have greater cognitive function, and live much longer. Here's how you can put this into action right away, starting with your next meal. Eat your vegetables first. Every bite. Then go on to the protein. Finally, enjoy your carbs. Do not mix everything together. Keep them separate and consume in order. It feels strange at first, but quickly becomes natural. Restaurants make this easy. Before doing anything else, make sure your salad is properly heated. At home, serve veggies as a first course. Japanese meals naturally follow this pattern, with little vegetable dishes, known as kibaki, served before the main course. The outcomes are nearly immediate. People report less energy dips, fewer cravings, and increased mental clarity after just 3 days of following the routine. Over time, it becomes automatic. Your body will thank you with consistent energy and improved health markers across the board. And now comes the moment you've been waiting for. The number one secret, which changes everything. Number one, the morning practice that increases life expectancy by decades. This is it. The number one secret the Japanese doctors credit with increasing life expectancy by up to 20 years. It's not a supplement or a special food. It's a certain morning practice that 96% of Japanese people adhere to religiously. They take a specified amount of warm water right after waking up before eating or drinking anything else. But it's not just about hydration. Dr. Hiroshi Yamashita's research at Nagoya University discovered that this simple exercise initiates a series of biological processes that literally clean and reset your entire body. This is exactly what happens during sleep. Your body switches into repair mode, toxins are broken down, cells are regenerated, and metabolic waste accumulates. When you consume 640 milliliters of warm water first thing in the morning, it excretes all of this waste through your kidneys and intestines. But that's only the beginning. This water intake on an empty stomach activates the gastrocolic response, which stimulates bowel motions while preventing toxins from being reabsorbed. It increases your metabolism by up to 24% during the next 90 minutes. It boosts blood flow to the brain, which improves cognitive function and alertness more than caffeine. The temperature is critical. Warm water, particularly at body temperature or somewhat higher, is absorbed faster than cold water. It does not shock your system. It softly awakens your organs and gets everything running smoothly. According to Japanese researchers, drinking warm water every morning reduced the risk of kidney stones by 73%, urinary tract infections by 61%, and constipation by 48%. The Nagoya University study tracked 5,000 adults for 20 years. Those who continuously followed this morning water ritual had a 37% decreased all-cause mortality. They experienced fewer heart attacks, strokes, and cancer diagnoses. They aged more slowly and retained their cognitive ability for extended periods of time. Less than 500 milliliters does not have the desired effect. More than 800 milliliters may be excessive for some persons. The sweet spot is 640 milliliters, or around 2.5 cups, consumed within 5 minutes after awakening. Here is the exact protocol. Keep water in a thermos next to your bed or heat it. First and foremost, the temperature should be appropriate for drinking quickly, rather than sipping. Drinking all in a few minutes, rather than progressively over an hour. Wait 45 minutes before having breakfast. This allows the water to work its magic uninterrupted by food. Some people are concerned about feeling bloated or needing to use the restroom frequently. This typically lasts a few days while your body adjusts. Start with 400 milliliters if necessary and gradually increase to 640 over the course of a week. Your bladder capacity rises and frequent urination quickly returns to normal. The transformation is astounding. People report having clearer skin within a week. Energy levels improve considerably. Digestion becomes regular and the mental fog evaporates. Chronic health conditions frequently improve or eliminate totally. One Nagoya research participant, a 20-year-old lady with severe arthritis, claimed a 90% reduction in joint discomfort. Another participant's prediabetes was reversed after 3 months of following this treatment with no further changes. Japanese doctors who live over the age of 100 do not consider this optional. It is as fundamental as breathing. They've been doing it for so long that it's instinctive, and you now know their secret at the end. These 7 secrets work together to create synergy. The morning water routine primes your body. The eating sequence maximizes nutrient absorption. Fermented foods benefit your microbiome. The 80% rule prevents overburden. The 5 hues offer comprehensive nutrition. The eating window promotes cellular regeneration, and warm foods aid digestion. They work together to produce a lifestyle that not only adds years to your life, but also brings life to your years. Japanese centenarian doctors, who are still seeing patients in their 90s, are not superhuman. They simply understand something. We're barely starting to understand. Small, consistent, everyday routines lead to amazing longevity. You do not require costly supplements or severe diets. You require these easy, time-tested approaches that work with, not against, your body's natural functions. Begin with one secret tomorrow and add another next week. Within a few months, you'll see why these doctors believe aging is optional. Your body is capable of thriving after the age of 100. You only need to provide the correct conditions, and you now understand exactly how. We now want to hear from you. Which of these 7 secrets surprised you the most, and which one will you try first thing tomorrow morning? Please share your experiences and ideas in the comments section below. We love hearing them. Thank you for watching.